I'm joined now by Tao Zhang. He's the director of Dao Ventures, an international impact investment and accelerator group. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So what is your reaction if the United States decides to pull out of the Paris Agreement as is expected, as President Trump has promised his supporters?
Well, I think we have probably look at this from two angles. The international angle I'm looking at this issue is probably the biggest drawback for the U.S. is that it's going to definitely damage the U.S. credibility with the international organizations, international audience they need to deal with. But at the same time, I understand the need, for President Trump to follow through, right, on his campaign promises. I think the question for the current administration is whether there's some kind of balanced approach they can take in order to create job opportunities they promised, but at the same time also fulfill their global obligations they have promised, on the international side. I think it's tricky. It's not something that it's more sophisticated minds, I would say. So you don't want to take like a just simplistic approach to solving the problem per se.
We've heard all these leaders already speak out. The German Chancellor, the EU President, the international community already planning to uphold the accord on their end and move ahead regardless of what the United States plans to do. Right. Do you think China becomes the sole leader in this initiative when it comes to climate change?
I think so. I think China actually is, without being conscious of the trend, they are being pulled into, like a more prominent leadership role in the climate change area. I think China will definitely do more in collaboration with other stakeholders on the international stage, with other countries like the EU, other countries who are still interested in being part of this. But I don't rule out the possibility the U.S. continuing being part of this because, even at the federal level, the U.S. is pulling out at the state level, at the city level, municipality level. There's a lot of people, probably even more people, more environmentalists than, the traditional fossil fuel kind of people. So I think the trend in the U.S. that, because over the past few months, there's a couple of climate kind of protests related, right? So I think there will be more people at the grass level in the U.S. pushing for climate change related work along the way. But at the same time, the U.S. by putting out definitely leave a big vacuum for someone else to fill in, a leadership vacuum.
Do you think the United States could start something? Do you think that other countries who signed on will look at the United States and say, hey, they're the world's second largest emitter of greenhouse gases. They're pulling out. Maybe we can too. Do you think that could start a trend somehow?
I think some country may follow the trend. So I don't know. So I kind of have a wait and see approach to this thing. But I think. What I can say is that the U.S. is definitely not setting, by being the second largest emitter and the largest economy, who used to play a very important global leadership. No, it's not serving good role model for some of the probably smaller countries.